Hi, I'm Rob. Welcome to your Daily Constitution. I am coming to you from the Rethink Home Studios in Anchorage, Alaska. So if you have a moment, take a look at rethinkhome.net. We have a lot of really cool stuff in here. There is furniture, there is a ton of artwork, and all kinds of just interesting things from all around the world. So if you have a moment, rethinkhome.net. Come by us if you're here in Anchorage at 322 Fireweed Lane. So, as I said, this is your daily Constitution, where we're going to take a little bit of the Constitution each day and read it. We'll look at it an article at a time, section by section, and just take a short video each day until we get all the way through it. We're going to read it straight through. We'll look at when items are changed by amendments, but we're not going to go look at those amendments until we get to the amendment section, and then we'll go back and look at what they changed. So, sit back and enjoy, and let's get started with your daily Constitution. We are back in the Rethink Home Studios for the next couple of videos. We're in the Star Wars section, if you can't tell. Well, okay, there are multiple Star Wars sections in here, but you need to come in and find out. So anyway, let's get going with Article 14, shall we? Article 14, Amendment 14. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Section 2, representatives shall be apportioned among the several states according to their respective numbers, counting the whole number of persons in each state, excluding Indians not taxed. But when the right to vote at any election for the choice of electors for President and Vice President of the United States, representatives in Congress, the executive and judicial officers of a state, or the members of the legislature thereof, is denied to any of the male inhabitants of such state, being 21 years of age, and we have a footnote, see Amendment 16, no, that would be 19, and Section 1 of Amendment 26, Roman numerals. And citizens of the United States, or in any way abridged except for participation in rebellion or other crime, the basis of representation therein shall be reduced in the proportion which the number of such male citizens shall bear to the whole number of male citizens 21 years of age in such state. So you got to be 21 years of age and male to vote when this passed. Section 3, no person shall be a senator or representative in a Congress or elector of president and vice president or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state who have previously taken an oath as a member of Congress or as an officer of the United States or as a member of any state legislature, or as any executive or judicial officer of any state to support the Constitution of the United States, shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability. Section 4. The validity of the public debt of the United States authorized by law includes debts incurred for payment of pensions and bounties for services in suppressing insurrection or rebellion shall not be questioned, but neither the United States nor any state shall assume or pay any debt or obligation incurred in aid of insurrection or rebellion against the United States, or any claim for the loss or emancipation of any slave, but all such debts, obligations, and claims shall be held illegal and void. Section 5, the Congress shall have the power to enforce by appropriate legislation the provisions of this article. So this was all about the Civil War, the aftermath of the Civil War, passing an amendment which, it probably should have been thought out a little more, but who are we? We weren't there. But there's some things in this amendment that now have a different meaning and have been looked at a lot differently by courts over the years. So let's read the proposal and ratification. The 14th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States was proposed to the legislatures of the several states by the 39th Congress on the 13th of June, 1866. You got to figure, 1800s, so 66 years into the creation, we had the Civil War, we had the separation of the states, and then the reunification of the states, all in that 6-decade, 7-decade span there. So a lot happened. It was declared in a certificate of the Secretary of State dated July 28th, 1868, to have been ratified by the legislatures of 27 of the 37 states. Dates of ratification were Connecticut, June 25th, 1866, New Hampshire, July 6th, 1866, Tennessee, July 19th, 1866, New Jersey, September 11th, 1866. Subsequently, the legislature rescinded its ratification and on March 1868 readopted its resolution of rescission over the governor's veto, and on November 12th, 1980, expressed support for the amendment. Okay. Way to go, New Jersey. You guys always do stuff different. Oregon, September 19th, 1866, and rescinded its ratification October 15, 1868. Of course they did. Vermont, October 30th, 1866. Ohio, January 4th, 1867, and rescinded its ratification on January 15th, 1868. New York, January 10th, 1867. Kansas, January 11th, 1867. Illinois, January 15th, 1867. West Virginia, January 16th, 1867. Michigan, January 16th, 1867. Minnesota, January 16th, 1867. Maine, January 19th, 1867. Nevada, January 22nd, 1867. Indiana, January 23rd, 1867. Missouri, January 25th, 1867. Rhode Island, February 7th, 1867. Wisconsin, February 7th, 1867. Pennsylvania, February 12th, 1867. Massachusetts, March 20th, 1867. Nebraska, June 15th, 1867. Iowa, March 16th, 1868. Ooh, jumped to 1868. That's a whole year. Arkansas, April 6, 1868. Florida, June 9th, 1868. North Carolina, July 4th, 1868, after having rejected it on December 4th, 1866. Louisiana, July 9th, 1868, after having rejected it on February 6th, 1867. South Carolina, July 9th, 1868, after having rejected it on December 20th, 1866. So a ratification was completed on July 9th, 1868. So it took 2 years to get this ratified. And then it was subsequently ratified by Alabama, Georgia, Virginia, Mississippi, Texas, Delaware, Maryland, California, Kentucky, all went ahead and said, okay, we'll take it. All right, so that was Article 14. Let's go ahead and do Article 15. It's a pretty short one. So Article 15, Amendment 15, Section 1, the right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. So pretty simple. Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. Again, putting it in Congress's hands to pass legislation. The 15th Amendment of the Constitution was proposed to the legislatures of the several states by the 40th Congress on 26th of February, 1869. So they ratified the 14th, then they said the 15th. So maybe later on down the road, we'll go back and look at why they needed the 15th Amendment. and was declared in a proclamation of the Secretary of State dated March 30th, 1870, to have been ratified by the legislatures of 29 of the 37 states. The dates of ratification were Nevada. I'm just going to go through the ones that ratified it. In 1869, it was Nevada, West Virginia, Illinois, Louisiana, North Carolina, Michigan, Wisconsin, Maine, Massachusetts, Arkansas, South Carolina, Pennsylvania, New York, and Indiana, Connecticut, Florida, New Hampshire, Virginia, Vermont, Missouri, Minnesota, Mississippi, Rhode Island, Kansas. Now we're jumping into 1870 with the Rhode Island and Kansas in 1870, Ohio in 1870, Georgia, Iowa, and Iowa. So it was ratified. Ratification was completed on February 3rd, 1870, with Iowa's ratification, unless the withdrawal of ratification by New York was effective, in which event ratification was completed on February 17th, 1870, when Nebraska ratified. Okay. And then subsequently ratified by Texas, New Jersey, Delaware, Oregon, Kentucky, Tennessee, and was approved by the governor of Maryland, Maryland having previously rejected it in 1870. So there we go. That is Article 15, or Amendment 15 of the Constitution of the United States. Thank you for hanging out. Please press that like, subscribe button, and we will catch you on the next one. Thank you.